All right. Well, good morning, Athletic Director Daniel. My name is CJ Turner. I'm a senior over at Arkansas State University, major in sport management with a minor in marketing. This morning, I just want to ask you a couple of questions about how you got to this point in your career. Should just take a couple of minutes.
Well, CJ, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad to help you out with Holly Huckaby's class, and hopefully you'll get a good grade on this. But I really got to this athletic director's position. I'd coached for 20, 29 years, I guess, and I'd coached all levels, a variety of sports. My primary sport was basketball, but I coached football, baseball, track. Coached a little bit of soccer, but 9 years ago, in 2009, legendary athletic director Jonesboro passed away on January 2nd. His name was Don Riggs. He was a legend here in Jonesboro, a football coach, and he was a big-time athlete at Arkansas State University. A four-sport letterman,
Yes,
and so it was kind of hard. But because he had hired me a couple of different times. He had hired me, and I was an assistant coach, and then I left to become a head coach, and he hired me back. And I got my start probably when I was in seventh grade. I had a man that taught seventh grade geography and coached American Legion baseball in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. His name was W.R. Glenn, and I wanted to be like Coach Glenn, and I got into the coaching world, and then that kind of led, as you work your way up, you coach a little while, and then you get administrative positions, and this Coach Riggs passed, and it was hard on everybody, but it was it was an opportunity for me to move on and carry on some of the great things that he had started here at Jonesboro.
For sure, definitely. So, in your time as an athlete, going through the progression, what would you say is maybe like your most memorable moment?
Well, athletically, I didn't have very many memorable moments because I wasn't a great athlete. I played hard and things like that. But a Lawrence County tournament one time when I was a junior, I hit a layup against an arch rival, Hoxie, at Hoxie, and helped us win the game. But the reason I hit the layup is they were guarding everybody else and the lane opened. But I've had many great moments as a coach. Coaching people. Coaching different teams. My youngest son, a great memory was we're down with 1.4 seconds in the NEA tournament, and the other team's shooting a free throw, and they miss, and he hits a beyond the half-court shot to get us the NEA title. My oldest son, Matt, in 1994 played on a great team, and we won a state championship. I was assistant coach at Jonesboro High at that time with Coach Pruitt, and we beat the legendary Little Rock Parkview in the finals, and Matt was named the MVP of the state. Arkansas Mr. Basketball. We were down 9 one time playing legendary coach Morgan Gilbert over at Tuckerman, and we were down 9 with 46 seconds to go before the 3-point line, and came back to win in overtime. And had a team at Wiener one time that beat Cross County that had the Martin twins. Wayne Martin, the older one, went on to play with the New Orleans Saints, and the younger one, Jeff, went on to play with the Portland Trailblazers. So, just over time, there's been many great moments, and athletics takes you a long way. I coached at Arkansas State a couple of years, and with Coach Nutt on Coach Nutt's staff, and we went into Ole Miss and won, and that was a huge.
Yes, sir.
That was huge. We beat Ole Miss in back-to-back years. We traveled to TCU and won, and so there. I can just tell you, you can go on and on and on about great memories and specific things, and in athletics, and I do a lot of reading In athletics, oftentimes we worry about the result.
Yeah.
How many hits did you get? How many yards did you gain? How many touchdowns did you catch? And we always, like if you go 30-1, the next question that you're going to be asked is, what was your record? We were 30-1. The next question is, well, who beat you? Who beat you? That's just the way it's going to be, because in the United States, in America, we're result driven. And what we try and preach around here the best we can is Brett Ledbetter has a book out. It's called What Drives Winning, okay? And he talks about CPR. And his CPR is build a character, work your process, and the result will take care of itself. So the true measure, yes, we've won 6 championships at Jonesboro High School this year, 6 state titles,
Yes, sir.
which is awesome.
Yes, sir.
Okay? That's great. But our measure of true success is going to be, where are these athletes, these student athletes, 15 years from now, 20 years from now? Are they great husbands and wives? Are they great mothers and fathers? Are they credits to their community? Mm-hmm. And are they giving back from what they learned at Jonesboro High School and through Jonesboro Athletics? Now that's what we preach. Everybody likes the result. We want to win, okay? That's, if they keep the score, we like to be ahead at the end. But the true measure of our success will be not at the end of the game when the horn goes off, but where are they going to be 15 to 20 years from now?
Sure. So going off of that, what during your time as a coach, what would you say your personal coaching philosophy was then compared to what it might be now?
Oh, there's no question there would be a huge change in certainly the way I coached. I let my passion, my emotion out there. There was nothing hidden. I was loud, okay? And if you were on the outside looking in, okay, you'd think, well, how in the world would a parent let their child play for this crazy guy? But, okay, the kids and I have always gotten along, and I used to tell them this. I said, you know how you play your music loud? Mm-hmm. I said, just treat me like your music. Listen to the words, not necessarily how loud it is. I think as being an athletic director, being able to see different coaching styles across all variety of athletics, different sports, sitting in the stands and listening to what parents are saying and what your typical, just your ordinary fans are saying, I think I would go back and I would coach in a different demeanor. I think you can get, I've read some of Tony Dungy's books and things, and he was not a holler and a screamer, and not that I was bad. It was just like I just wore my emotions, my enthusiasm out there, and I didn't keep anything. But I think I would coach in a much more calm. I think. Now, I don't know. I'm not on that sideline anymore, so I don't know that. But I would like to think that after watching all of these different things that go into athletics and the heartbreak that some kids have and things like that, I think I could do it better now. Mm-hmm. Now, my philosophy goes all the way back to Mr. Glenn, W.R. Glenn, is he used these 3 things. He said, let's always be firm, let's always be fair, and let's always be consistent. And I've kind of tried to live my life, the whole, everything I do in that regard. So, coaching wise, I love it. I miss it every day. I've been athletic director at Jonesboro now for 9 years, but I miss coaching every day. Excuse me. If I went back, I think that basketball will still be my primary, but I've been around enough sports now that I love track meets. Okay. I love wrestling. I love swimming, because when you hit the mat or you hit the water or you're on that starting line in the 100-yard dash, you cannot hide. An athlete cannot hide. You either compete or you lay down, and we love to compete.
Yes, definitely love to compete, because I know just excuse me, coming from my personal background, starting way back at the Pee Wee level. My Pee Wee coach was Coach Levi Garland, and he always told us, you got to give your best. You got to do your best at everything you do. And then transitioning into middle school and early high school, our head coach at the time, be the best. So it's always, that competition, it drives you. It drives us in the classroom, first of all, because we are student athletes,
That's
of course.
right.
And then it drives us on the field, whatever it is that you're playing, whether it be football, basketball, track, swimming or whatever. So I just believe in, you absolutely have to put your best foot forward. And even now, a senior in college, everything I do has to be top notch. And so that's just kind of how I see it.
Absolutely. What any employer, any coach, any spouse would want is the absolute best you have. Every day's not going to be great. Hey, we've got a pretty good baseball team. We got smoked the other day. Hey, and had our ace pitcher on the mound, but they hit the ball. It looked like a tomato coming up there, I guess, because they hit it everywhere. But you know what? Everything's not going to be easy.
Right.
But you get up every day. You do your best. You show up early. Hey, and you work hard and you treat people nice. And I keep telling our coaches, if we have a little, a parent that gets a little disgruntled because of this, I said, look, that parent wants the best, absolute best for their child. So don't blame the parent. Okay? Listen to them. Now, you've got to treat the team. You've got to coach the team. You're the one that has to make the decision. You're the one that has to lay your head on the pillow. But be firm, fair, and consistent with them every time. Okay? And expect their best. The old cliche, hey, I want you to give me 110%. I never used that. I always said, all I want is all you've got. And, I understand that the adrenaline rush sometimes that you can do superhuman things that you normally couldn't do. But on a daily basis, if you give me all you got, you give me your 100%, then we're going to take that result. You're going to show up and, hey, young professionals, okay, dress right, act right, talk right, social media right.
Yes.
Hey,
yes, sir.
It's killing folks.
Yes, sir.
It's killing folks, and it's costing young athletes scholarships because of stuff they do on their social media, and you have to be so careful with it. It's a great tool. It's an unbelievable tool for communication and things like that, and there's so much positive out there, but man, just a slip up here or there, and it can really cost you.
It can get you. So speaking on social media, how does the Jonesboro Athletics use any of their social media?
Well, typically we have a Twitter account with most of our. I'm at Hurricane AD, okay, and what I do is I try and get. I can't be at everything. We have 15 sports. We're grades 7 through 12, so we've got, give or take, 65 teams if you count all the JV teams and 7th grade teams and everything. So I can't be at everything, so I just ask all the coaches after the event to just please text me the result, okay? All right, but and basically what I want to know, I'm not so interested, okay? I'm not so interested in the win-loss. But if somebody asks me, well, how did the junior high do? Well, hey, we beat so and so, or we lost to so and so, and so I do that to keep as informed as I can. And certainly, I said if there's any issues that go on, please, hey, give me a call because I don't like any surprises.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So these next set of questions are going to kind of get a little deeper into the more administrative side. So, of course, actually pertaining to the job.
Okay.
I've got a question here that's talking about Title IX.
Yeah.
And so what we want to know is just kind of how does Title IX affect Jonesboro Public Schools and then, of course, Jonesboro Athletics. And then so any type of maybe any type of positive and negative effects that it might have.
Yes. Okay. On the positive side, we look at it and we try and keep things as equitably balanced as we possibly can. When you're looking at hiring processes, when you're looking at facility process, equitable things like that. We do not want a student athlete, because they're a male or female, to feel like they're slighted one bit. Okay, and we're constantly self-evaluations and say, okay, if we've got this position open, okay, yeah, we need to make sure that we're taking care of the situation. In facilities, one of the things that you've got to be careful with is booster club organizations. They get involved, okay, and they want to do this to they want to fix this to we'll use baseball, softball, okay, because we have a little inequity right now, okay, because we had a bunch of baseball boosters a few years ago. They come in and want to do this, and so that booster club money went in, and we upgraded our baseball field. Well, you look across the street, the softball field's not the same. Okay, so we've targeted, made over the years, the field's great, but the bleachers and the concessions and the press box not the same. So because the booster money was entangled with the public money, then you have to look over here and you've got to do the same. So we've got a $200,000 project ready to go for our softball, so that our girls will feel as equitable as you can,
right,
in their sport. And we do our best. Okay, is everything exactly perfect? I don't know that, but it's a constant. This is springtime, so we're looking at the hiring process, and you're talking about adding an assistant here and adding. I said, well, if we add one over here now, we need to make sure we're taking on this side.
Right.
So it's a constant. It's a constant ongoing process, I guess. Is you're always looking to make sure that you want it to be as equitable as can for everybody. In all sports, we have a very diverse student population, and we try and take care of all of them the best we can in budgeting and everything. We get pretty much in Jonesboro, we get everything that we need and most of the things that we want.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the next question is actually about budgeting. So what type of budget if you're comfortable answering that question? We have either line item, lump sum, maybe programmatic type budget, or any type of.
It's more of a. We kind of set a line item. You get a certain amount is budgeted per sport. Okay. Now, that being said, if someone comes up and says, we try and rotate our uniforms every 4 to 5 years. Junior high, if we can hold on another year or so, we try and be as good stewards with our money as we possibly can. But we try and rotate our uniforms on a every 4-year basis. But if something comes up and you're wanting to take, we're just going to do the best we can to outfit and treat all of our athletes the best we can. We're just going to get them what they really need, and most of the things they want. We're going to try and figure out a way to help them with our budget. But we always, we want to be as, good stewards of the public money as we possibly can.
Right.
Yeah.
So along with that budgeting, we've got travel expenses, food expenses, maybe some type of overnight if there's a basketball tournament going on, maybe during the summer or anything like that. So how do we allocate funds for that?
Well, what you have is in school business you have two funds. You have an operating fund, and then you have a revenue fund. Our revenue fund's called Fund 7000. That means all of your gate receipts from all of your sports. Okay, any revenue that you get in, that money has to be spent first. Okay. And there's certain things that you buy out of that fund, but you're gonna spend any money that you make through your gate receipts. You're gonna spend that first, and then the additional money that's needed to support your athletics is going to come out of an operating fund. And our finance department's great. They help us set our budget up, and this is what we're going to need. I'm going to say that, okay, girls basketball is going to need this, boys basketball is going to need this. This is what football needs. Wrestling needs this. Bowling certainly is a low economic sport. Okay, it doesn't take much. I have some bowling shirts and a little fee at the bowling alley, and we're ready to go, other than some travel. But a bowling travel, okay, overnight is treated exactly the same as a volleyball travel overnight. Same meal money, same type of bus transportation, same kind of hotel expense. Everything's the same. So I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, that's great. Because, like I said, since I grew up in Arkadelphia, obviously I was just on the athletic side, and kind of on the outside looking in. I knew a little bit about the gate fee and all that type of thing, and what that money's used for. But as far as the operational budget, I really didn't know much about that.
Yeah. Well, you have to. State says, whatever your revenue, you spend that first, and then if you need additional expenses for athletics, it comes out of. And let me tell you something. A lot of schools, like any meals, okay, come straight from booster clubs. Some school districts will not pay for meals for travel, and unless it's a state event, and you have to stay overnight and things like that. But we try and do that.
Because I know, again, just from my experience, our booster club was great, and usually they would provide meals for most of our athletic programs, especially on like the away trips, because during playoff times, we're going here, there, and everywhere. And so then that's when the booster club really kicks in and starts, pre-gaming meals. And if we have to eat like somewhere halfway or whatnot, they'll say, okay, well, this is where we're going. This is, that type of thing. And then the last set of questions is just kind of maybe like some type of advice type questions, Again, I will be graduating here in December. So just what kind of, further personal advice could you give me, just from things that you've experienced?
Well, if you get in a position of being an athletic director, okay, the number one thing that you have to do, okay, is hire the best people you can hire, okay, and then let them do their job, okay, and be as supportive as you can. But if you hire really good people that have, good moral fiber, hardworking, they have a great ethic, they have great communication skills, they're good with kids, it makes your job so much easier. Now, you're going to deal with stuff. I mean, everybody has stuff, and I don't care where you are. Put in your time, the bowling kids, the swimming kids, they need the dancers, the cheerleaders, they need to know that you feel exactly about them that you do for your men's basketball or your football. Okay? It's the same. They're Jonesboro athletes. And so you have to treat everybody. You have to be firm, fair, and consistent in everything that you do. You show up every day, you work hard, you treat people nice. Nice trumps everything. It trumps everything. Just keep being nice, okay? We're not without fault. We're not without mistakes. We make them all the time. But, hey, we own it. We try and fix it. And we just do the best we can at trying to have the best overall athletic program that is part of the education, okay? We are student athletes first and foremost. And that's how we hire. We hire teachers first that can also coach.
That's awesome. And then one more question: work-family balance. So, I mean, of course, being the athletic director, I'm sure there's a great amount of travel. Maybe sometimes, late nights or early mornings, that type of thing. So how do you balance that? Okay, well, I got to go do all of this type of stuff for work, but then at the end of the night, make time for, wife, kids, and maybe grandkids or anything like that.
It's very difficult, and you have to have a very understanding spouse. Let's throw out the long hours and all that. Okay, when you marry, okay, you have children and all that stuff. There is a commitment that you've made, okay, to that husband or to that wife, okay, and if you end up and you're lucky enough to and blessed enough to have children, then you're committed to that, okay, and I used to teach a little health, and I'd say, everybody says marriage is a 50-50 proposition. Well, that's bull. Marriage is 100-100. If you're not 100% committed in that relationship, then it's probably not going to be a great relationship. It's a constant process. I've been married now for in August it'll be 44 years. Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's awesome. She's the best. Okay. But it ain't all a bed of roses either, because I mess up plenty of times. When we first got married, we made a decision that I'd make all the really big decisions in our marriage, and I'd let her handle all the small decisions. Well, so far, we've had no really big decisions. So she handles the house, and she's awesome. She's been very understanding. We had 2 boys that played ball. We've traveled from Seattle, Washington to Tempe, Arizona to North Carolina, playing AAU ball, and it's difficult, but the marriage, the union, regardless of what you're doing, is work. You've got to work. There's going to be ebbs and flows, but you got to remember, you're committed.
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of like the pigs and the chickens. Okay, on whether you're involved or you're committed. Well, if you've got ham and eggs in the morning, the chicken was involved, but the pig was committed. Okay, so you want to be committed in everything you do, whether you're in the workplace. Dr. Wilbert Gaines, who was longtime professor, Dr. Gaines. Okay,
yes,
he and Dr. Hozinski, Dr. White, Dr. Evelyn Prescott. I think you guys think you've got it tough. I had a graduate class with Dr. Prescott, physiology, exercise, human anatomy, and stuff like that. And 95 to 100 was an A. 1 point off for each misspelled word, and there was no gum chewing in class. But Dr. Gaines made a statement one time that I'll never forget. He said, when you get a job, you need to treat that job like it's the last one you'll ever have. And if you do that, you're showing up every day. Our superintendent, Dr. Kip Wilbanks, she said, if you want to move up in the world, she said, just outperform the position that you're in. And so I hope I've helped you in answering some of your questions. And I just say this. Hey, make sure your social media is very clean. Okay? Positive stuff only. You're passing information that's good information. Dress the part. Dress for success. Treat people nice. Look them in the eye. And be able to communicate with them. And I worry, the text message, and now I worry about personal communication a little bit, being able to look somebody in the eye and communicate with them. So hopefully I've helped you.
Yes, sir. We're good.
Okay.